How you doing? This is John, and welcome to John's Long Box. Today we're looking at the Crossovers, issue number 1. This is by Crossgen Comics, $2.95, and I forget what year this came out. Okay, we'll look at the authors and everything once we get inside. Crossgen was an odd little comic company. It came and gone like a comet in the night. It just rose and shot through the firmament and burnt up and disintegrated. It was they based in Florida, and Mark I can't pronounce his name. Well, Mark Alessandro or something like that was the publisher. Let's look. This is February 2003. I don't know if it's going to have the guy's name, but he was a billionaire. I forget what he or a millionaire. I forget what he did. He invented something, and big comic book fan, and he went and he hired a bunch of bigwigs like Mark Waid and Chuck Dixon and all these people, and he got them all to move to Florida, and they all went to, and it was like his fantasy of like a Marvel bulletin. They all worked together, and they all edited each other's comics, and I have to say these comics are great, really good, such good quality comics, everything. I'm going to be doing a bunch of cross-gen stuff lately. I don't know why I've been ignoring them on my channel, but anyway. So they all worked together and encouraged each other to work. They would be drawing in panels like an old, like what I pictured the Marvel bullpen to look like as a kid, not realizing that all the artists worked at home and stuff like that, and only Marvel staff was actually there. But I always pictured rows of people drawing and writing comics and telling stories to each other and throwing paper airplanes, stuff like that. But that's what Crossgen was, and it didn't last too long. I really don't know why, because I guess the fans didn't pick it up, but they had a small but hardcore following, and this guy's one of them. But this is the first cross-gen comic that I'm going to be talking about on my channel, the Crossovers. So let's take a look at it. All right, the premise is great, and I'll explain the premise as we go through because it's kind of cool. It's very wholesome. So I guess I wanted to cleanse my palate after the boys. But here we have the Crossovers. They're a family. I forget their names, but oh yeah, that's Clifford. He's the angry boy. He's very sarcastic. That's the mother. What's her name? Okay, but that's Chris. That's the daughter. I think she's like 15, 16 years old, and she's very studious, but she's also a good athlete, like athletics and stuff like that. What's the mother? Good morning. How the kid? Cubby is the dog. And why can't I remember the mother's name? Okay, but here. And that's the husband. Okay, nice family. And they all go off. Mom's cooking everything. And I like this. What does she say? Something. I can't have sugar frosted quakes. I'd rather just let my butt. So blah, 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 blah. She's feeding them all. All right. I thought they would say the names. But here they go, going off to work. She works at a hospice, so she's a hospice care nurse, and he's some sort of scientist, and he's a comic book scientist. So they're concerned about the boy because he's obsessed with UFOs, and she's concerned about her daughter because she's always, if she's not doing her athletics, she goes down to the basement and studying. They're concerned, like she's showing all the if you ask me, she's showing all the symptoms of like an anorexic girl, like just obsessed with control and being the best at everything. And they're going to work, and they have this perfect house and everything. Welcome to Crosstown. And she's going to work in this house, and here's where you start to see the gist of the comic. She's working at this wealthy house, and that's her patient. So I wonder what's going on there. So Callista, and her maiden name was Salt. Callista Salt was her maiden name, and now she's like, oh, the anemia is back, so she's treating her for the, and he's just like, I don't understand, my daughter's getting worse, and how do you tell the man that your daughter's being fed on by a vampire? So he's about to fire her, and she opens up and she brings out a crucifix, and the girl freaks out. So there you go, they're fighting vampires. So he's like, oh, get me my crucifix, and he puts the crucifix and burns the girl. So there you go. And here's the husband at work. He's off. His name is Archetype. He's the superhero Archetype. And he's talking with the police as this guy is attacking Gargantuan. terrible name, but what do you want me to say? So he's fighting Gargantuan, and boom, super battle is ensuing. And now they're going off to school, or they're coming home from school, and here's the pesky neighbor. This is the only thing that made me roll my eyes, but I'll live with it. His name is Perry Noya, and Perry Noya is their next door neighbor who's always spying on the crossover family. And I'm going to the basement, like I care. So he's eating his sugar bombs that he wanted, and watching TV, and he's watching Archetype Battle Gargantuan on the news. And she goes down in the basement. There's this little sewer cap in the wall, and she jumps, or on the floor rather, and she sloops in, comes out. There's her sword, and she dresses up, and she's going to, the princess is back to lead her army into victory. Do you guys get the premise yet? So there's the handsome, his name is Gash. That's the handsome second in command. She's blushing. She's the 15-year-old girl. He's, I don't know, 30-year-old creepy guy. And there's the wizard, who has foretold prophecy that she will deliver them the victory over the Imperatrix that they've all desired, and blah, blah, blah. You know, such trope. So then the wizard's name is Hocus. These are my trusted lieutenants. He goes, you've never been wrong before, and if there's a traitor among us, then you better root him out. So who's the traitor? So now they're all accusing each other of traitor, and this guy was actually loyal, but he was bespelled. So he's watching TV about the superhero battle. We'll go back, and there's Cubby, the cute little dog. Perry Noya is spying, and the boy goes into his room. Keep out. Even poor dog. Why are you keeping Cubby out? Cubby never bothered him. And what's the kid doing? His eyes activate. He uses like some sort of thing. This guy drops a shovel. What's going on? He's like, you don't understand. This kid's involved with space aliens. So what happened? The boy, well, they didn't show up, but I guess I'll spoil it. The boy has been abducted by aliens and made friends with aliens. So you get it? It's a crossover. It's all the different fantasy genres. We got swords and sorcery with Chris, the daughter, who becomes the princess. We got Cliff, who does UFO, alien paranoia, and government conspiracy. It's so good. And then we have the father, Chris, who becomes Archetype, the superhero, and the mother, it's supernatural vampires. And here's the thing. Here's the thing. None of them know each other's secrets. They're protecting each other. He can't let anybody know he's Archetype because he doesn't own the technology. That he was a mild-mannered scientist and used. They experimented on him. First was Prototype, his older advisor, and then he's Archetype, and he doesn't own the technology that gave him the superpower. So he's under contract. It's a trade secret, so he can't let anybody know, not even his family. Callista is not letting anybody know, but she's been, and I can't pronounce his name, Baron Corpusue. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong, but he's been, and you're Barabbas Salt's little whelp, aren't you? So her family's been fighting this vampire for decades, and if he knows that she has a family, he'll go after her, because that's what he does. He just to torture him. So she can't let him know. She doesn't even know that he, has a different name. Okay, but yet he heard them fighting, so now he found out that her name is really Callista Crossover. In the meantime, thank you for telling me your new name. I look forward to meeting your husband and children. Uh-oh. And here she is. She's fighting this is the daughter, the teenager, the princess who's leading. And this is really the traitor. And he forced this guy, or tricked this guy into... So she actually killed like one of her trusted lieutenants, but she didn't know because this guy's the baddie. Spoiler, but you knew that. And he's flirting with her because it's easy to... Everybody knows that she has a crush on him. She's a teenage girl, and he's just like, it is over. We will discuss this. He's whispering to the Imperatrix. And here's the little boy talking to his alien friends. And so the setup is complete. Mom comes home from work. I'm sorry I'm late. I'll start dinner right. Never mind, I ordered a pizza. It's almost half gone. Did you eat that much by yourself? No comment. I'm glad to see you're finally eating. He actually shared it with his alien friends. I'll just mince some garlic on top of it. Where's your sister? In the basement as usual. Go get her. And the father comes home. I said, go get her. I could have yelled. I'm sorry I'm late. Normal family. They're eating garlic pizza. Don't eat any. I'm mincing garlic for the topping. What? Pizza? I don't want any. I'm fat. So how was everybody's day? And they got to keep the secret. And that's the crossovers. I thought it was really good. So here's the writer, Robert Rohde. The only thing I remember Robert Rohde from was he did Thor Vikings, I think. And I don't know this penciler. I'm sorry to say. I don't know any Adventures of Superman. So he did one issue of Superman, but I don't know him. But I really liked it. I thought it was pretty good. Ernie Colin, what can we say? He's a legend, and he's been around forever. He did he did one of the creators of Arak, Son of Thunder, a comic that I showcased. Just a long time. He did Amethyst, a DC series. So this series about the girl who lives in two worlds is kind of a goof on Amethyst. And colorist Mark McNabb, I don't know him, but he did a pretty good job. So here's where you could buy some Crossgen comics. This is out of date because this comic is almost 20 years old, and I loved it. It's wholesome, it's fun, it's goofy, it's a little silly, but I love how it does like all the pop culture genres and mixes them all together. The superheroes, the sword and sorcery fantasy, the space alien conspiracy, and the supernatural vampires. And they do a good job. He has an arch villain and everything. And when you go to each world, you want to learn about each world. There's a story in each world that is interesting. And of course, they cross over. As the kids are trying to, the mother, father, sister, daughter, sister, brother, they're all trying to keep the family out of their individual little, world, their adventures. It's fun. It's a good. I think it only lasted 10 issues. The first 6 issues are one complete story arc, and this is begging for a TV show. Why not? This is it. I think this would be a phenomenal hit. Disney Plus, Netflix, somebody get on this. Make this a TV show. I would watch the hell out of it. I think it's phenomenal. And they're dirt cheap. You can get each issue for $2. I don't know if they've been collected or not, but you could go to an online store like My Comic Shop and pick up each issue for like $2. It's good. It's so good. And there you go. That's the crossovers. I wanted to. Yesterday I did The Boys, and I know the older I get, the more that cool violence and over the top sexual deviancy and stuff like that. I don't know. I maybe it's been the past year or two, and I'm sure everybody knows what I'm talking about. I want some like cheer and goodness. So I'm rereading the crossovers, and I was like, oh, I got to showcase this. But be on the lookout for more Crossgen stuff. They really are good stuff, and I'll talk more about the company in another video. All right, see you. I appreciate that you took time out of your busy day to watch my videos. Thank you so much. Happy New Year, everybody. And looks like I'm going to be getting my first snowstorm. So there you go. Thanks. Bye-bye.